Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. Today, we're talking about Hornady CX. I was lucky enough to take an elk with it. We're going to talk about how it actually performed. Hornady says it is the most advanced monolithic bullet ever produced. Is that true? We're going to find out. So before we get too far into the video, I just want to address two things real fast. A, I know the lighting's not great. B, there's a little bit of wind. It is what it is. We're outside. I'm not a professional YouTuber. What does that mean for you? That means I have nothing to gain or lose talking about any of these companies, their products, how they perform. No one's ever sent me a single product, a single dollar, not a single thing. So when I come on here and review something, I have no gain or benefit or anti-benefit, whatever you want to call it. I have nothing to lose or gain. So these are all things that I bought with my own actual money. So take that for what it's worth. This year, I was fortunate to draw an Arizona bull elk tag. I know what you're saying, Matt, that's not a very big bull, that's a spike. You're right. We're going to talk a little bit about the hunt. We're going to talk about how the bullet performed. Long story short, me and a group of two friends all were fortunate enough to draw as a party an Arizona bull elk tag, like I said. We ended up going up. We had a great time. We had a super nice camp. The hunt was fairly tough. Didn't see a ton of bulls, but I broke one of the cardinal rules. What is that? Don't pass on the first day what you would shoot on the last. And what did both me and another guy do? We both passed a couple bulls that were bigger than the ones we ended up shooting. We had some circumstances that made the hunt a little bit harder than maybe anticipated. So on the fourth day of the hunt, with 1 day left, we decided, hey, let's go find that herd that we have seen a few times, see if those spikes are still in there. We'll shoot a couple of them. And it actually worked out just like that. We'll get more into it, but we came up, found these two spikes, shot them, boom, boom. Super fun experience to have with one of your close friends to be able to essentially double tap two bulls. It was a great time. We're going to get into it. Leading up to this hunt, if you guys watch the channel, you saw that I had a little bit of a debate on what bullet to use. I was pretty much exploring everything. ELDXs, terminal ascents, bomb strikes. I mean, you name it pretty much. I threw it through here. We had a different rifle. We got this rifle. I mean, a bit of an experience, to say the least. Check out the other videos. There's not enough time for that in today's. At the end of the day, I ended up using this Browning rifle that I have. It's a 300 Win Mag. I think it's the Composite Hunter. It's a Browning X-Bolt, Composite Hunter, Synthetic Hunter, one of those. I don't know. It's a Browning X-Bolt. Anyways, I shot a lot of loads through it. It loved this Hornady CX loading. Hornady advertises these at 3280. This rifle has a 26-inch barrel, and I got an average of 3223. So absolutely cooking out of this rifle. I will throw this group up on the screen. It's not the best group I've ever shot. I think it's a 5 or 6 shot group. It says shade over an inch, okay? Now, like I said, not the best group I've ever shot, but I felt like it was a realistic example of what this rifle and this load can do, and those were all in a row. 5 or 6 shots out of a thin barrel 300 Win Mag, starting to string a little bit, ignored the 2 shots down below. Those were something else. At the end of the day, I'll say it shoots around an inch with this load. It was good enough for me on this particular hunt, and it performed really well. If any of you don't know what the CX is, like we talked about a little bit earlier, it is Hornady's monolithic bullet that they make. They call it the copper expanding bullet. That's what CX stands for. It is in 4DOF, which I am a big fan of. It seems like with Hornady today, if you have anything good to say about a Hornady product, you are just labeled as a Hornady fanboy. I wouldn't say I'm a Hornady fanboy. I'm also not a Hornady hater. I'm more in the camp of, if a company makes a good product, I'll use it. If they don't make a good product, I won't use it. It's really that simple. I know there's been a lot of hate with the 7PRC, ELDX, whatever. This is a totally separate video. 300 Win Mag with a 165 has obviously nothing to do with 7PRC or a completely different bullet. So take this for what it is. We're only talking about the CX and the way this particular hunt went. Back to the copper thing. One thing they like is speed, okay? They want to be going fast to work. That's why I like the Superformance and the 165. Those of you who know about coppers, you know they hold their weight really well. So a 165 isn't some kind of scary proposition for me out of a 300 Win Mag. It really, to me, is kind of a sweet pairing. You get the speed from the Superformance line, things like that. Like I said, over 3,200 feet a second. That to me is a sweet, sweet pairing, especially if you're like me and you're only going to shoot out to 4, 5, maybe 600 yards. The way this all played out was pretty cool. Like I said, we had seen this herd before. We drop in to kind of where we thought they would be. We were walking up to where they were. We were kind of down low and they were up a little bit higher. We were in some pretty thick timber, not really expecting to see them yet. And boom, there they are walking at us. Wind's good so far. They have no idea we're there. Things start unraveling quickly, as they often can with elk. So me and my friend kind of get ready. One of the cows had kind of noticed us a little bit. Started getting a little swirly in the timber here with the big kind of opening behind us. Wind started swirling a little bit. Long story short, we pretty much just said, hey, if you have a shot at a bull, shoot it when we were on our way in. Don't worry about, taking turns or counting off or whatever. Let's just get some elk on the ground. This bull had kind of seen us. Wind started swirling just a hair. He had kind of turned, and I was offhand. I mean, they're 80, 100 yards maybe. I didn't range it or step it off or anything. They were close, 80, 100 yards maybe, somewhere in there. He had kind of started quartering away really hard, working his way back up the hill. I was down low. He stepped into an opening. I shot, boom. He was quartering almost exactly away, not quite like a Texas heart shot. I'll put it up on the screen right now. I got a good video when we were skinning him of where the bullet entered and where it came to rest. Long story short, 80 to 100 yards, 3,200 feet a second. Hit him pretty much in the back of the gut, right? And I knew I could take a shot like this because I had a mono bullet, right? I really wasn't afraid of any angle that we were going to encounter, which is one of the big positives of a bullet like this. But anyways, entered pretty much back of the stomach, went all the way up through the diaphragm, through, I think it made it through both lungs if I remember right, back of one, a little more middle of the other one, and came to rest pretty much on or just slightly behind his offside shoulder. That's a long ways for a bullet to go, and that elk hit the dust now. He biffed it right away. It was over quickly. Right after I shot, the other elk kind of turned, came out here, gave my buddy a shot. He hit his bull with a 300 short mag, shooting some kind of older federal bonded bullet. I don't know what it was. It's a hollow point of some kind, bonded. Anyways, he hit him kind of back of the lungs. He was on the move as well. He went up the hill, another 40, 50 yards, bit the dust, and it was over. One of the coolest experiences I have ever had for sure. But getting back to the bullet, I'll play some things so you guys can see how the bullet performed. It performed amazing. This is the only mono bullet I've ever seen stay in an animal, obviously due to the nature of the shot. I didn't measure it, but the penetration had to be north of 25 inches, maybe even over 30 inches. I don't know. It went all the way through everything. Guts, diaphragm, lungs, stopped on the offside hide, like I said. That is immaculate performance. And you guys can see from some of the little clips I'm playing, it is formed into 6 perfect petals. Truly, like I say, I'm not a big Hornady fanboy by any stretch of the imagination, but guys, you can't deny that performance. Now, this is the only animal I've ever shot with this particular bullet, with this load. I don't know that I need to shoot that many more to be convinced. I mean, that is incredible. You'll notice too, when we go back through that slow-mo again, or not the slow-mo, the video of him hanging up there, was like no bloodshot at the entrance hole. Crazy. Just literally a little 30 caliber hole, and it, obviously a little bit of bloodshot on the offside there. But I mean, that's really, really impressive. No ruined meat on the entrance hole there. Made it all the way through there. Boom. On a separate video, let me know if you guys want to see a video. This rifle took a beating on this hunt. We got after it pretty hard. We saw a ton of deer, many big bucks. It was a ton of fun. We were looking at big mule deer all over the place. My friend that I was with, his cousin actually had a really coveted trophy hunt for mule deer in that unit just like the next week or week after, and he shot a really nice buck. So we were kind of half scouting for deer, half hunting elk. It was a great time, but this rifle took a beating. You'll see from some of the pictures here, it is very scratched up on the stock here. It is very dirty on the scope rings because I still haven't cleaned it. I'm sorry, I've been really busy. But at the end of the day, that's what I wanted this rifle for. So if you want a side video, let me know. But getting back to the actual point of the video, performed really well, guys. There's not really a lot more to say. Basically, I'm sold. It did a really good job. I think I'm going to use this combination for a lot of other stuff. I don't know yet. I have a lot of other stuff I like hunting deer and antelope and things like that with, but my goodness. They might be right. That might be the best mono bullet on the market, especially given the fact that you can combine it with Fordoff, right? That is really incredible. That's one of the reasons Hornady has been so successful, all the marketing and stuff aside, is that when it comes to accuracy and things like that, their stuff just works. I know there's exceptions. There's always going to be exceptions. But at the end of the day, you have a bullet that you can put in Fordoff, you chronograph it, it's going to be accurate, at least in my experience. So I was really, really a fan of that idea. It worked super well. It's gonna pretty much do it, guys. We had a hell of a hunt. Like I said, stay tuned if you want a video of this rifle here. It was a great time. It truly was a great time. Super fun hunt. Obviously didn't shoot any record-breaking bulls or anything, but any day of hunting is really, really a great time. Let me know what you guys think down below. Don't forget to subscribe, drop a like, and we will see you next time.